the Dutch decide to invade India, and they decide to do it from the south. And they send a fleet commanded by the famous Admiral Eustachius de Lannoy to attack what was then the Kingdom of Travancore, to capture India from the south. And they are roundly defeated by the forces of Travancore under King Marthandavarma. So not every king was arbitrary and so on and so forth. Not only did he defeat them, but he captured the Dutch commanders. And Eustachius de Lannoy then joined the service of the Maharaja of Travancore and became his captain of artillery. The fact is, this happened. So whenever your history books say that the first example of an Asian power defeating a European power is Japan defeating Russia in 1905, wrong. It's Marthandavarma of Travancore defeating the Dutch in 1741. 29 million Indians died of starvation in British-induced famines. The most famous example, of course, was the Great Bengal Famine during the Second World War, when 4 million people died because Winston Churchill, deliberately as a matter of written minuted policy, proceeded to divert essential supplies from civilians in Bengal to sturdy Tommies and Europeans as reserve stockpiles. He said that the starvation of anyway underfed Bengalis mattered much less than that of sturdy Greeks. This is Churchill's actual quote. And when conscience-stricken British officials wrote to him, pointing out that people were dying because of this decision, he peevishly wrote in the margins of the file, "Why hasn't Gandhi died yet?" I was reminded of this wonderful photograph I saw of a demonstration against the anti-immigrant speeches made by certain conservative politicians. There was a wonderful demonstration, and the demonstrators, black and brown Britons, were holding up placards saying, "We are here because you were there." It's something the Brits need to be reminded of from time to time.
So, is it a British problem or an Indian problem?
No, I think it is a British problem. First of all, because there is so much historical amnesia about what the empire really entailed. The fact that you don't really teach colonial history in your schools. Children doing A levels in history don't learn a line of colonial history. There's no real awareness of the atrocities, the fact that Britain financed its industrial revolution and its prosperity from the depredations of empire. The fact that Britain came to one of the richest countries in the world in the early 18th century and reduced it after 200 years of plunder to one of the poorest.
This is difficult stuff because we're just about to try and do a big deal with you. We need your trade. Are you going to hold this against us?
Not at all. I don't really think this is about today's relations, which are between two sovereign equal countries, John. I mean, our economy is as big as yours now. And as far as we're concerned, I think we don't need to have a chip on our shoulder when dealing with you. But I think we do need to be aware of history because, as I often say to young people, if you don't know where you've come from, how will you appreciate where you're going?
Kindly forgive one of your biggest fans if she's being over the top or if she mispronounces some words. But I'm so starstruck right now and I might never get this opportunity again. So sir, please explain yourself. How can someone be so astonishingly good looking and charismatic and even more implausibly brilliant and intelligent at the same time? Sir, please spill some secrets.
You are very sweet and very kind and generous, but all I can say is there are things you can't help and there are things that you can train yourself to do. So the way you look and all of that, honestly, all I can say is choose your parents wisely. It's all in the genes.
Thank you, sir.
It's all in the genes. But everything else, you should work at it. I mean, I must say that, reading, as I explained earlier,